Students, and welcome again to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in the capital of British Columbia, the westernmost province of Canada. I hope that everybody is having an awesome weekend so far. I hope that you are enjoying every moment of life. You're staying positive, moving forward. Welcome, Sarah. Hi, Faika. Nice to see you. Jaskaran, Calvin Yu, Simran. Lovely to have so many students here with me already in the class, ready to learn. Students, this is an IELTS speaking part 3, talking about the environment. We just finished speaking part 2, the cue card of the speaking section, of course. And speaking part 2 cue card was about a park or a place of nature near your home. So it's no surprise that speaking part 3 is talking about the environment. The environment is a very, very hot topic, maybe the most popular topic of the IELTS exam for part 2, part 3, because we are a part of the environment. We need the environment for survival, and we have a lot of environmental challenges today or these days historically. So it's not a surprise. It's a big issue in the world. Students, this lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com for academic IELTS. That's where you want to be. For general IELTS, you want to be at gieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have a plethora of materials to help you improve for your IELTS exam. Click this big red Join Now button that's just behind my head there to join our premium IELTS package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. I am a certified British Council agent. We are partnered with IDP and British Council to bring you strategies, practice materials. And we have a discount code today. It's coming from our newest speaking video on our YouTube channel. You can use the discount code Fluent9. Fluent9. We're focusing a lot on fluency in speaking. So Fluent9 will get you a 25% discount. This discount code is limited to the first 500 people who use it. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Again, click this big red button right there. We will use our academic IELTS website today for speaking. So even if you aren't getting the premium package, definitely join the free version so that you can use the speaking function of the website so we can practice speaking together. And again, students, we do have this new video that we just released. It's a speaking interview. It shows you tips and strategies to be fluent in your speaking section. I'll put it in the chat. There it is. You can use the link in the chat. It's this link right here. I just copied it basically into the chat. It's 17 minutes, so not too long, but lots of tips and strategies and a great example and subtitles so you can practice. Okay. All right. Mittal says, you spoke cue card very well. I was ears. Mittal, the correct English is you responded to the cue card very well. I was all ears. I was all ears is the expression. Okay. I was all ears. All right. So students, be very careful with your use of idiomatic language. Make sure it's accurate. I was all ears means I was listening carefully. Let me write that down for you, Mittal, so that you remember it for next time. Okay. So idiomatic, never ever use idioms in the IELTS if you're not 100% sure that they're accurate. So I am all ears means I am listening carefully. Okay. It's an idiom, but you need the word all. It's an important part of that that idiom. Okay. All right. Yeah, for the apps, download the app, Academic IELTS Help. Link it to aehelp.com. General IELTS Help will link to gieltshelp.com. Instagram IELTS_AEHelp and gielts help. And if you still have some questions, send me an email. My email is adrian@aehelp.com. That might be a bit too high. Let me see. Yeah, so there's my email. There you go. It's my name, adrian@aehelp.com. Okay, students, so a very important tip or a very important notion, fact that we learned last class doing part 2, the cue card, and it was a reoccurring theme. Okay, so it was like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, is to use concise language. Okay, concise language is very important for good communication. So in part 2 and part 3, and in writing, just generally in communication, you must learn to use concise language. Okay, concise language means give lots of information in a short kind of way. So provide good information and good detail without over-explaining in a short format. Okay, that means to be concise. All right, that's the key. To get those high band scores like band 7, band 8, band 9, you have to learn to give information in a concise manner. To be concise, you need to be direct. Okay, just answer. So don't say lead-in expressions like I would like to talk about, or there are many different okay? Just be direct. My favorite place is. My favorite part of nature is. People have to recycle to save the environment. So be direct, okay? So just answer, use affirmative language. So, like, for example, do not say, there are many ways people can help the environment, but the ones that come to mind for me are. Okay, this is not concise. Okay, do say, people can recycle and plant trees to help the environment. Notice how in the first one I don't even answer the question, so I don't even get to these points. Okay, so people can recycle and plant trees to help the environment. This is concise. Okay, so be direct. Right? Use the question, be direct. Okay. B. Okay. Use strong connectives to give an immediate explanation. Okay. Because, therefore, as a result. Okay. So don't repeat yourself. Don't say, so when people help the environment and then they start to recycle. Okay, that's not a direct way. Okay, so say people can recycle and plant trees to help the environment in order to reduce consumption and garbage and create more green space around the city. Okay, notice this in order to. So I'm giving you tips here for part 3. Obviously, that's what I'm doing. I'm sure you kind of figured that out. Okay. I usually do not need to write answers in bold letters on the IELTS exam. Okay, to answer your question, just use regular letters. All right, so give those clear, direct answers. All right. Okay, so that's what you use to be concise. Don't over-explain. Don't repeat yourself. All right. That's how you get the high band scores. So let's continue with part 3. Okay, so in the IELTS exam, the examiner will say, that is the end of part 2. Please put the note paper or the pencil to the side. I will now take back the questions and we will continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you more questions related to your response in the topic of part 2. Let's talk about nature. What do you think is the best description of nature? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. And then we'll see if your answer matches with mine. I will type the answer up here as well. Okay. And you give me your answer. Again, focus on concise language. So if you write your answer and then you realize, yeah, that's not really concise, I can say that, but in a shorter way, then try it. Okay. For the listening and the reading, Sonia, you can use all capital letters, but remember it's slower and it's easier to make spelling mistakes if you're writing all big letters, okay? All right, so what do you think is the best description of nature? All right. Okay, there's my answer. Nice and concise. So I think the best definition for nature is any part of Mother Earth that is not manipulated by humans, such as rivers, lakes, and mountains, and of course plants and animals. Mount Doug Park near my home is a great example. Okay, so that's my definition or description of nature. It's very direct, answer, explanation, example. Notice how this part here, it connects to part 2. If you were in the part 2 class that we finished just an hour ago, then you see that, oh yeah, okay, we talked about Mount Doug, and he's giving this very quick short sentence to make that connection to his part 2 answer, okay? All right, let's see, Calvin Yu, let's see what you have. There are different ways to define nature, so it's up to you. It's not like I have the only definition here, but it has to be clear. So Calvin Yu says, in my point of view, the most accurate description of nature is a system that regenerates itself when damaged. For instance, trees regrow even when people cut them down on a large scale. I like it, Calvin. I like your definition of nature. I think it's a band 9 if you give me that in a clear, fluent way. Okay. Just Kamal in the chat says, nature, according to me, is a form of being relaxed easily, such as by observing clouds, listening to birds, which would result in helping us to bring ourselves out of tiredness. Okay, so just Kamal, you know how we're talking about being concise? So saying it in a short way. And I use this word here, use affirmative language. Okay. Affirmative language means avoid using modals unless you need it in a condition. So let me show you what I mean. Okay. So affirmative language or direct language is like this. It's clearer too. Okay. It's a more coherent form of communication. So here's your sentence that we're looking at, Just Kamal. And this is for everybody, so I'm not just teaching this to Just Kamal. I'm teaching this to all of you. Okay. So keep this in mind. Going to fix up the formatting so it makes sense. So don't say this, okay? So don't use unnecessary modal language, such as by observing cloud, listening to birds, which would result, okay? It'll make sense in a second, so just bear with me. Okay, to bring ourselves out of tiredness. So this last part of the sentence is confusing. So what you want to say is do say affirmative, strong language. Okay, so such as observing, and you'll see how it is more concise, observing clouds, listening to birds, which result in rejuvenation. Okay, rejuvenating is bringing ourselves out of tiredness. And of course, that's another way to be concise is by using vocabulary. And if you don't know the word rejuvenating, like some of you might say, oh, fine, Adrian, but I don't know the word rejuvenating, so I can't be concise. No, not at all. Because you know the word relaxation, right? So you can use a simpler vocabulary if you want. Rejuvenating means to get back life energy. But if you don't know rejuvenating, you can say relaxation. So use strong and confident language, right? So such as observing clouds, listening to birds, which result in relaxation. Notice how it's much more concise, right? It's clearer than which would result in helping us to bring ourselves out of tiredness. It's kind of like da 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 da. Shrink it, make it concise, get a higher band score. Okay, so once you have a band 6, band 7, band 6.5, band 5.5 level English, then you really want to just not focus only on getting more vocabulary and grammar, but focus on being concise. And of course, grammar, vocabulary do help you with that. Okay. Here's the next question. Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one, and then we'll get into some real practice. Speaking to students. So here's the next question. Why has humanity had such a negative impact on nature in the past several centuries? Okay. So why has humanity had such a negative impact on nature in the past several centuries? Try to paraphrase. So for example, instead of nature, use the word environment. So try to use different words. Okay. Don't just use the same words. All right. I'll give you an answer and then we'll match. Again, focus on being concise. Okay. All right, there's my answer. So nice and fluent, answer, explanation, example without over-explaining. So why has humanity had such a negative impact on nature in the past several centuries? A century is 100 years. Okay. People have had a bad effect on the environment over the past couple of 100 years, mostly because of population growth and overconsumption. If you don't know the word overconsumption, use the word shopping. So sometimes, people say, oh, I don't know those words, but you know other words that you can use instead. Not only have humans boomed to over 8 billion people, but the average person also creates much more garbage than in the past. My neighbor fills his trash bins with plastic and rubbish in 1 or 2 days because he's a shopaholic. Okay. Shopaholic is a person who is addicted to shopping. They just buy. Okay, so that's a shopaholic. So notice the answer, explanation, example. Very smooth, very concise language. Not a lot of unnecessary extra here. And some really nice emphasis using correlative conjunctions like not only, but also. Okay, these types of conjunctions or joining words help us to strengthen our communication. So use them, not only, but also. Whether or, neither nor, either or. Okay, use these correlative conjunctions. Okay, let's take a look here. So one of our newest members, Chenny Mae, says this. Let's see what you have, Chenny. And then I will give you a bit of feedback here, and I see the rest of it too, Chenny. No worries. The last 3 words that did not fit in the first comment. So here we go. Chenny, and good for you, Chenny, to just get right in there and join the classes. That's how you learn. Jump in there. Humanity had a great negative. Has had. It's present perfect. So has is the auxiliary verb. Had is the past participle, Chenny. So humanity has had a great negative impact not to, on our environment for the past centuries due to economic growth, population growth, and some businesses or organizations literally don't care how to properly dispose their waste. Okay, Chenny, use the word "and" here. So economic growth and population growth, you don't need to repeat the noun. You can just say it once. Okay, so economic and population growth, and don't use some. Okay, we don't need the word some. And businesses. Organization is a repeat of businesses, and businesses, not literally, we don't need the word literally because it's literal, and businesses don't care, don't use a question mark or how to, use a statement marker, don't care about properly disposing of their waste, which leads to pollution. Finish your idea. There is a toy company in my city which pollutes the nearby lake with chemicals during production. Okay, so there is the complete band 9. So taking a band 5, band 6 answer and turning it into a band 9 answer. Okay, Chenny? So humanity has had a great negative impact on our environment for the past centuries due to economic and population growth, and businesses don't care about properly disposing of their waste, which leads to pollution. There's a toy company in my city that pollutes the nearby lake with chemicals during production. Okay, good. Now I got it. Clear. Okay. All right. Chenny, yeah? Got it? Okay, is that clear? Okay, you got it. Good, let's take one more. So, Vishal, nice use of the word adversity or adversely. I like it, just at first glance there. Adverse, okay. So, Vishal, humans, let's make them plural. Humans have adversely affected, present perfect, question is present perfect, have had. That's because it's a negative achievement. So we talk about it using the present perfect. Use the present perfect, Vishal. So humans have adversely affected Mother Earth. Mother Earth is spelled with capital letters. Mother Earth. More than previous few decades. Vishal, pay attention to the question. It's centuries, not decades. And it is centuries because we've been doing it for a while now. We're just coming to the end of it here as we destroy the last bit of nature that we have. So humans have adversely affected Mother Earth for more than 100 years. Okay, a couple of centuries, more than 100 years, you could do that. Because they are becoming more sedentary. Take furniture, for example. In order to get wood, many trees are being cut down. The examiner will not make a weird face like me. I'm making a weird face. The examiner is making the weird face inside their head. They're going... So, Vishal, stick to easy ideas. Furniture, cutting down trees. It's kind of weird, I'll be honest with you. I don't think furniture or wood furniture is the major cause of pollution. Although I'm sure it's not good for the environment, all those trees. But the amount of trees we cut down for paper or for other purposes are way more than for furniture. Furniture actually doesn't demand as much product. Houses, for example, wood houses require way more wood than wood furniture. So it's kind of awkward. Like, I get how you're trying to be specific, but you want to give clear answers, okay? So humans have adversely affected Mother Earth for more than 100 years. because they are becoming more sedentary, because they are becoming more greedy. People want to own a house, a car, a boat, and much more. All of this consumption is leading to the demise of nature. Okay. In fact, humanity has lost more than 70% of its forests over the past 200 years. Okay, so if you don't give a personal example, you can give a fact like that. Just make sure it's believable. Okay, so Vishal, that's a clearer answer. All right. So humans, again, students, this is speaking. So speak and repeat. Copy what I say. Copy the correction. So Vishal, I'm correcting a band 4, band 5 here to a band 9, okay? I do like the word use adversely. So some nice vocabulary there, Vishal, but make sure that your content is good also. So humans have adversely affected Mother Earth for more than 100 years because they have become, instead of they became. Let's use the present perfect again. They have become more greedy. People want to own a house, a car, a boat, and much more. All of this consumption is leading to the demise of nature. In fact, humanity has lost more than 70% of its forests over the past 200 years. Okay. All right, Anime says, sir, today was my speaking exam. Part 1 was pretty good. Part 2 talked for 2 minutes, but I used very formal words and some pronunciation mistakes. In part 3, it went pretty nice. Please guess how much I got. Anime, I have no idea. But if you volunteer in a moment here for speaking, then I can give you a pretty close estimate of your speaking score. Okay? All right. Ghazi says people affect nature in many negative ways with many negative activities like illegal hunting, throwing garbage into rivers. Illegal hunting, Ghazi, is called poaching, and setting forest fires. They also burn fossil fuels, which leads to air pollution. Ghazi, simplify. Okay, keep working on that simplification. Okay, students, let's do this for real. I mean, let's talk to each other, okay? So you can volunteer for speaking and you can volunteer to talk to me, and then I can tell you your band score level for your speaking, and I can tell you what to do so that you can improve your band score. So to volunteer for speaking, it's a few steps because YouTube does not have live chat. Live chat, we have that like actual audio chat. I don't mean text chat. So audio chat, video chat, we have that on our website and we have it on Lighthall. Okay. So here we go. First step, register for a free or a paid account at aehelp.com. Okay. aehelp.com is this website here. You register for a paid account by clicking this red button, or a free account by clicking this green button that's just behind my head. All right. Then once you have done that, then log into your My Student account. So you will see it will usually log you in, and then you click on this Student Partner Speaking. You will see a button, Student Partner Speaking. Make sure you enable your microphone. Okay, so if it says, would you like to allow this website to use your microphone and camera? You have to say yes. If you say no, then you're not going to be able to speak to me, okay? Then you will see me as master. and click on the blue envelope and say, I want to volunteer. And I will see you. I will get a ping. It'll go ping. And then I will ping you back. I will say, are you ready? Here, let me show you. Okay, so this works beautifully. Lots of people use it. Let's do this. So here's the website, aehelp.com. I am in my student account. This is my student account. We have a computer-based IELTS practice exams. You have your app for your phone. You have a full interactive course with strategies. You have the workbooks, lesson plans, PDF exams. Then you have all of our videos in HD format. Lots of videos and strategies there, as you can see. You have audio CDs. But what we're really interested in is this function here. Lots of different functions in the premium version. And we're looking for this student partner speaking. That's free to use. It's free for everyone. Okay. So you click on that. You accept the terms. This little pop-up bubble, it's very simple. It basically says you're 18, you're good to use this, you're polite, and you accept responsibility. Don't give out your home phone number, your home address, please, to anybody. Okay, so accept, start speaking, and then like magic, no, just like computer programming, you are in the chat where you can see lots of students. Look at all those beautiful people. Mizad, Jose, Hunter, Bahrun, Brajesh, Zoraida, Vimesh, Ghazi, Sami, Baljit. Lots of people in here. And you see these blue envelopes? There's basically three functions, text, video, audio. We are just doing audio for today, but first you want to send me a message. You will see me as Master. So where you see the name Master, click on the blue envelope and say, I want to volunteer, or type, I want to volunteer. Okay, let me get my ears on. And then once you volunteer, once you send me a message, I will see that you sent a message and I can reach out to you. Okay. So right now we have people volunteer. Let's go from the bottom this time. Here's Sarah. Okay, and I know, Sarah, you've given an attempt here. Sarah, are you ready? Okay. Let's start with Sarah.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. Sarah, you have been trying to connect with me these past couple of classes, but without success. So I'm glad that...
Yes. Actually, I broke my phone the last week and I had like to recreate accounts because I forgot my passwords. And when I created this account, I wasn't able to join her. Whenever I logged in and I tried to speak with you, suddenly it logged me out and I have to log in again, and it's unstoppable.
Okay. So if you're having this kind of an issue, definitely send an email to us. So these are very complicated systems, and it's good for us to know this kind of information so we can look at it in detail. And it's good English practice. You're sending an email in English. So so send an email and say, hey, this is what happened to me, and for some reason it's not connecting for me. So then we can look at why that might be happening so we can fix it. How did you break your phone?
Because I was sleeping and it was beside me, and I kicked it away, and I woke up, I found it broken in the ground.
So you kicked your phone in your sleep, right? Or you punched it or something while you were
Yes, I
sleeping.
didn't pay attention.
Yeah, I love,
Yeah.
there's usually a pretty good story that goes with how a phone gets broken. Phones are quite strong these days, so there's usually a pretty good story with it. But to make you feel better, I once, when my older daughter was a baby, I accidentally kicked her off the bed when she was sleeping with us. So it can be worse than a phone, sad to say. But she was okay. Thankfully, she was okay. She cried, though. She wasn't happy with me. But yeah, I shoved her while I was sleeping, of course. She climbed on my leg, and my leg just reflexively pushed her off the bed. So I felt horrible. So word of the wise, yeah, make sure you don't have a baby or a phone near your feet when you're sleeping. Okay, Sarah, so let's get focused here on part 3, talking about nature. And I know that you were in the last class as well. So if you want, you can, of course, connect your answer with whatever you were thinking about for part 2. And again, the focus here, Sarah, is to be concise. Okay, so really try to pay attention to giving good information, but not over speaking. Okay. Are you there, Sarah?
I'll do my best.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Yes, I said I'll do my best.
Okay, got you. All right, so here we go. So that is the end of part 2. Let's continue with part 3. Let's talk about nature. What do you think is the best description of nature?
I would define nature as everything physical is surrounding us as a human, and it's not created by a human, but already found, such as the clouds, the sun, the moon, vegetables, and animals, and as well, as same the example that I gave in part 2, the national park of I forgot. The viewport.
Okay, good. All right, that was good. So I could hear that you're really fighting to keep it concise. You realize that maybe once you got on about vegetables, we need to get a little bit more concise, right? Vegetables? Oh, okay. Don't start talking about carrots, then you're not being concise. Okay, good. So watch your pronunciation. Define. Can you just repeat after me? Define.
Define.
Good, that was better. Yeah, the way you said it in your answer was a bit awkward, and I was kind of like, huh? Okay, so I would define nature as everything physical.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Never apologize for language. So I would define nature as everything physical that surrounds us. Let me correct your grammar a little bit. That surrounds us, but we can make that more concise, is not created by humans, such as clouds, sure, vegetables, and mountains. Examiner will not judge you for saying vegetables. It's kind of, it's interesting, but it's fine. So such as clouds, vegetables, and mountains. Like the example that I gave in part 2. Now, again, Sarah, IELTS, you don't need to be truthful. So whatever comes to mind, like the example that I gave in part 2, the beach near my home. You live near the ocean, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're in Marseille. So Marseille is a seaboard city. Okay, so keep it simple, right? Don't overthink it. Okay, so here is the answer corrected. I'm going to repeat this, so just copy after me. By the way you said it, it would be like a band 5, 6 with the grammatical mistakes, the pronunciation mistakes, and a bit of awkwardness. But with those corrected, we can now make this a band 9. So let me repeat this and then copy after me, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think is the best description of nature? I would define nature as everything physical that surrounds us but is not created by humans, such as clouds, vegetables, and the mountains, like the example that I gave in part 2, the beach near my home. What do you think is the best description of nature?
I would define nature as everything physical that surrounds us, but it's not created by humans, such as clouds, vegetables, and mountains, like the example that I gave in part 2, the beach near to my house.
Perfect. Okay, that would get you a band 9. All right, so it's smooth, it's without mistakes, it's concise, and it's clear, and it finishes, and you're off to the next question. Okay, Sarah, keep up the good studies. Very important practice for you, Sarah, is to record yourself on your phone when you're answering these questions and then assess yourself. So think about, how can I make this better? How can I improve the grammar, make it clear, make it more concise? Once you figure that out, even write it down and then say it again, record it again. Create a library or a collection of clear, good answers, and then make sure to listen to those when you're riding the bus, washing the dishes, gardening, whatever you like to do, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Sarah, and send us an email if you're having any kind of technical issues with any of our products or even with YouTube. We might be able to give you some tips, okay?
Thank you for your help. Have a great day.
You too. Bye for now. All right. Give Sarah a thumbs up, everybody. First volunteer for this class. She did a good job. All right. Let's keep going down up a little bit. So, Isulu, if you're there and ready. I'll go from the top too. Don't worry. Are you ready, Isulu, for a part 3 question? We have lots of time in this class, everyone. We've got more than half of the class time left. We've got like 45 minutes roughly left in the class, so we can take lots of volunteers and I can give you feedback, okay? And let you know your strengths and weaknesses. So test your system when you're volunteering with other students. So contact another student and say, hey, can we check my microphone, make sure it works, so that you know that when you call me, it's going to work. Okay, Isulu, here we go. Hi, Isulu.
Hello.
Can you mute YouTube, please? So in the YouTube app, just click on the speaker, and then that way we don't get the feedback. Perfect. Hi, Isulu. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing great. It's the weekend, although I work on the weekend, but I'm usually a happy guy. Isulu, where are you calling from?
I'm from Kazakhstan. Do you know about this country?
I do know a little bit because we have quite a few people from Kazakhstan. Are you in Nur Sultan?
No, I'm from Aktau.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's unique about Aktau?
It's like it is located in coastal area, so we have like Caspian Sea.
Mm-hmm.
It's the main main difference, or like,
yeah, it's the main unique feature, sure. And I've heard the Caspian Sea is quite beautiful. My father has been there, but I haven't been there. I would love to see it someday.
amazing,
Yeah, cool. Well, that's great because the topic is the environment and nature, and it definitely sounds like you have no shortage of nature around your home. So let's go to part 3, and I will ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer, explanation, example, and then I will give you some feedback. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So let's talk about nature. Why has humanity had such a negative impact on nature in the past several centuries?
Well, the reason why human activities brought detrimental consequences on nature over the past few hundred years is that rarely do people realize the consequences of careless attitude towards the nature and unconscious consumption. In fact, fast fashion brands use open loop production cycles that pollute water and land, which is the major problem issue that we are facing in this century. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That was a fantastic answer. So nice. Okay, that would be a band 9. So you have very, very good English. I can tell that you've spent a lot of time. Yeah, that would you would get a band 9 for that. When you here's a little tip. I mean, we can always improve and we can always be better in our communication. So you were very fluent. In fact, you were almost too fluent. So you were almost speaking a little bit too quickly. I was trying to type what you were saying, but you were speaking so fast I couldn't keep up with you. But I did hear your answer. So I'm processing your answer at the same time as typing, and it's a bit tricky on my end. But I heard your answer, and you can speak a little bit slower. So you could speak 5-10% slower. You don't need to rush your answer. Okay. You're using really good vocabulary. You're using really good language, and your logic is very good as well. So simply put, you told me that the reason we've had such a negative impact over the past couple centuries is because we have gotten ignorant with nature. We don't care about it as much, and we pollute carelessly, right? So that was, in a nutshell, that's what you told me, with some nice vocabulary and some nice specific examples. And that was very good. At the end, you did something that was a little bit awkward. You said, and yeah. So it's kind of like you were hesitant of, am I done? Did I answer? Should I say more? And you kind of included this awkward little reflection of like, and yeah. Try to avoid that. So when you know you've answered the question, just deflect. So say, that's why humans have had such a bad impact on nature, and then stop. Don't have that awkward finish, and then you're golden. But otherwise, it was a band 9 either way. Okay, so all right. So a little bit slower, and be confident. Finish what you're saying. Wait for the next question. Okay. May I ask, where have you learned English?
Well, studying in an IELTS school, like it's one of the coolest schools in my country, I guess. So it's like necessary for me to be polyglot. So I'm struggling to talk at length and like to improve my English, constantly.
So your school is in English, basically, is what you're saying. Your schooling is all English.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. And like recently, I've been having English classes, like having English courses of IELTS preparation. So
good. Yeah. So, and make sure to be concise. Okay. So you have the vocabulary, you have the fluency, be concise. Your answer was concise enough. Again, you don't want to overspeak, right? Because then it leads to awkward communication. Now, you said you're a polyglot. So you speak English and which other languages?
Russian, and of course, my native is Kazakh.
Kazakh. Okay, great. Yeah, polyglots, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this word, is a person who speaks 3 or more languages, basically at the native level. Okay, Isulu, thank you so much for volunteering. Keep up the good practice, okay? Keep going forward. And the sky's the limit. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye for now. So that was Isulu, a great example of band 9. Again, students, careful on the IELTS. If you have great English, if you have a lot of experience with English, you've learned it since childhood, you've spent some time in an English-speaking country, as an exchange student maybe, then you have to still be careful not to speak too quickly, not to overspeak, not to speak awkwardly. So always work on just very clear, concise communication. All right, let's take somebody else. Let me jump a little bit up in the list here so that you all feel the chance, or that you all feel that you have the chance to speak. So you, Chuk, let's see if you is available. Okay, you, are you ready for the next question? Yes, Zalik, I see you in the chat, and you can definitely connect with me. You have to use our website for that, okay? YouTube does not have audio chat. We use our website for this. It's a good system. So the website is aehelp.com. Chuk, if you are still with us in the class, give me a life sign. So send me back a message and say, yes, I'm ready, or a yep, or a yeah. Thanks for the thumbs up, everyone, for Isulu. Yeah, I could feel that she was slightly nervous. She did a great job, though. Give everybody a thumbs up, right? Speaking in another language is always a challenge, especially in front of a crowd. All right, I'm not seeing any life sign from your end, so I'm going to just go right above you and see if Kevin's available here. Kevin says, happy Saturday, Mr. Adrian. I'd love to volunteer. All right, Kevin, I do not want to deny one of your happy places. So are you ready, Kevin? Okay. And Kevin, it's great. I know what you look like now because of our video chat on Lighthall. So I can, even though I can't video chat with you right now because I'm using camera for YouTube, I can see your face. I can see your apartment.
Good afternoon, Mr. Adrian.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm super happy, as you can tell from both my voice and my message.
Yes, definitely. And I figured you'd be a great volunteer following Isulu because I know that your English is quite strong as well, as English is your passion in life.
I'm actually quite intimidated to be called right after her because she has already set the ball so high. I mean the bar.
She set the bar high, yes. There is a reason. I was kind of hoping you'd say something like that because I know you're very self-critical. Language should never be competitive. So, yes, we have spelling competitions and competitions in language as well. But at the end of the day, language and communication, firstly, always has to be a competition with ourselves. It's not good to compare to other people for one very good reason, Kevin. We all have our own diction, which means we have our own style of speaking. No two people actually ever talk the same way. So it's an awkward comparison to begin with. And I know that's hard to, escape that and say, hey, okay, but he's a band 8, he's a band 9. But yeah, just for yourself, you compete with yourself. So let's do this, Kevin. I'm going to ask you a question and then just give me a nice full sentence answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So what can people do today to help save the environment?
Well, I think to protect the environment, the foremost course of action that people should take is to both lead and promote a more sustainable lifestyle, like embracing the 3 R's in environment, namely reuse, reduce, and recycle. People should also protect the environment by driving changes from the government level, like they cast votes for officials running for the presidents, maybe, who commit to protect the environment. I actually did just that last year in Vietnam during one of our general election votes.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, again, it's a band 9. And it's good, so we're getting a couple of band 9 examples here. So you have a band 9 example here as well. It's very fluent, very natural. You sound very confident in your answer. You have good content. So you're giving me good information, and you're even including a bit of education, I think, for our viewers, which I appreciate as a Canadian. Canadians like to think that we help the environment, although Canadians destroy the environment as well. Okay, let me reflect on what you said. So you said, I think to protect the environment, and then you kind of got a little bit stuck there thinking about what you want to say, how you want to say it. It's okay to do that. Okay, that's still considered fluent. So I do appreciate that you slowed your language. You didn't rush your response. And then you chose to say the foremost course of action, which is nice vocabulary, and it's a nice expression. It's okay. I do that too. Sometimes I take a step back and choose a different word than what I started with. It's okay to make these substitutions or corrections in language. It's natural. Okay, so for all of the viewers out there, if you're making a mistake or if you feel like I want to replace this with a better word, you can do that. We do that in speaking. It's like real-time editing. Okay. And then you used a nice correlative conjunction here. You said is both to lead and promote an environmentally friendly lifestyle. Very nice use of vocabulary and grammar there. I didn't catch your connection, so I kind of just added my own. And you said to adhere to the 3 R's of protecting nature, which is reuse, reduce, recycle. Yes, that's the symbol that we see on a lot of recycling cans and so on. And then you gave a nice example at the end, talking about government intervention and voting for government intervention.
Yes, and today, Mr. Agent, I have actually taken your advice from last week. So I started with the most immediate. I mean, the idea that is, I would say, most people would think of when I think of this question.
Exactly. Recycling, reusing, reducing, right? It's the most simple way to protect the environment. Yeah. So that's what you want to do. Yeah, on the IELTS, and thank you for mentioning that, Kevin. On the IELTS, you do not need to come up with some unique ideas. Instead, you want to take general ideas like recycling and present them in a very nice way, right? So exactly, and that's what you want to do. That's how you get an easy, quote unquote, easy Band 8 or Band 9. Okay.
I feel like I do understand myself better, so yeah, I can manage with that content. It's not as complicated as the one I had last week.
Right. There's a bit of luck in IELTS as well, but you definitely don't want to bet on luck. You want to be able to do that with just about any topic. So just keep your thoughts simple. All right, Kevin, thank you so much for volunteering and showing us another high band score response and also sharing that valuable piece of advice. So stick to common ideas, just package them nicely in your answers. Absolutely. Kevin, have a great rest of your weekend in Vietnam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adrian. The same to you.
Thank you. Bye for now. All right, that was Kevin. Very good in Vietnam. And yeah, so whether you're from Kazakhstan, whether you're from Vietnam, whether you're from France, you can get high band scores on the IELTS exam. Band 9 is not just a myth. Sometimes, students ask us in our videos, is a Band 9 just a myth? No, it's not. We have had students get Band 9s on the IELTS exam. It's hard to get a Band 9. It's not an easy task, but it's doable. Okay, content is very important. Okay, let me jump around a little bit here. We have Samantha. Looks like I want to say Samantha, but it's spelled differently. Samantha, are you ready? I really want to say Samantha, but it's not a Samantha. The H would be in a different place. But maybe it's just the spelling. If Samantha is here, we will continue on. And as you can see, I'm moving through the part 3 questions. So of course, in the real IELTS exam, you have one coming after the next, okay? So be ready for that. I don't know why it's saying Pauline. Let me try that one more time. There we go. Samantha, I hear that you picked up. Are you there? Can you hear me? I know you answered the call because it stopped ringing, but I can't hear you. I'm wondering if you have your microphone enabled for the website. It's very important. If you can hear me, that means we're connected. Can you hear me? So students, again, when you're using the website, definitely test it with another student. Make sure it works in your area and with your device and connection type. Okay. If it doesn't, like with you right now, Samantha, then send us an email and say, hey, I tried to connect with you. I couldn't. I don't know why. I use an iPhone. I'm in India. So let me know, okay? All right, so test it, Samantha, with somebody else, and then we'll go from there. Cesarani, very ambitious. Hello, sir. I want to volunteer. Are you copy pasting, Cicerani? Are you ready? Seems like you're ready. You're copy pasting. All right. Now, if you send me a dozen messages, it doesn't necessarily mean I will be connecting with you. Cicerani is one of our regular students, so.
Uh,
Hi, Cicerani.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Cicerani, can you remind me which country you're in?
Oh, I'm from Indonesia.
From Indonesia. Okay, I can hear you loud and clear. So you can even maybe go a little bit back from the microphone, like
Yeah.
couple centimeters back from them. There we go.
Okay, here you go.
All right, Cicerani. So I will ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer. Are you ready?
Yes, I will do my best. I will do my best.
Awesome. Okay, so let's continue talking about nature. Why is it important to save the environment?
Well, as time go by, there is younger generation should enjoy the beautiful natural environment. So we should protect our environment from contamination and pollution, such as in the simple way, we can throw the trash into the garbage can, or we should change our habit to use fabric bag than the plastic bag because every people as I see can throw up plastic bag in every place that made the natural environment in the contamination. It
What
is
can happen if humanity does not take care of its natural surroundings?
let me think for a while. Um, that would be unfortunate for the younger children. They can't spend their leisure time to enjoy the natural environment, and that would be very polluted from the air or from the situation or atmosphere. That would be unfortunate for their future and for their health especially.
Okay. Let me give you a bit of feedback. Okay, good. So I asked you two questions, and the first one was, why is it important to save the environment? Careful with the accuracy of your expressions and your grammar. Let me make a couple of corrections, show you what I mean. So you said, well, as time go by. As time goes by. It's G-O-E-S, okay? So, well, as time goes by, there is younger generation should enjoy. I understand it, but it's awkward, incorrect English. So it's future, right? So there will be a new generation that should enjoy the beautiful and natural environment. So we should protect our environment from contamination and pollution. I liked your use of vocabulary here. Contamination, for everybody who's watching, is another way to say pollution. It's basically a synonym. So when we contaminate, we pollute. Okay, and then you gave a suggestion here, and you said, so we should change our habit to use fabric bags instead of plastic bags. That was okay, but it's important to recognize that you're going off topic. Okay, I haven't asked you what we should do. I just asked you why we should save the environment. Okay. So don't overspeak, and that's why I ended by interrupting you with the next question, because you just kept talking, and maybe somebody, Cicerani, told you to just keep talking until the examiner stops you, but don't do that, not in part 1 or part 3, okay? Even in part 2, you should have that concluding sentence. So when you feel like you answered the question, just stop and wait for the next question, okay? you will get a better score on the IELTS if you do that. Okay.
Okay.
So instead, give a simple example. You can say something like, if we continue to cut down trees as we are doing today, our children's children will no longer have a forest to enjoy. Okay, so just like that. So why is it important to save the environment? Stick to the question. Okay, let me repeat the answer and then copy after me. You would get a band 6.5 for your original answer. I want you to get a higher band score, so let's do it in the correct way. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm going to say the answer and then copy after me. Well, as time goes by, there will be a new generation that should enjoy the beautiful and natural environment. So we should protect our environment from contamination and pollution. If we continue to cut down trees as we are doing today, our children's children will no longer have a forest to enjoy. Why is it important to save the environment?
Well, as time goes by, there will be a new generation that should enjoy the beautiful and natural environment. So, we should protect our environment from contamination or pollution. If we continue to cut down trees as we are doing today, our children will no longer have a forest to enjoy.
Okay, good. Yeah. So that would easily be a band 8. Children's children, band 9. Okay. Difference between band 8, band 9 becomes very, very small. Okay. Very, very small. Very slight. Okay. Very nice though. Very nice. Did you have any questions regarding the speaking section?
Honestly, I don't prepare this by writing in the book, because in the previous time when I was started to speaking, I need to write down this book, and you say in the earlier time I should speak naturally. That's right.
Yeah, you should. And, you know, it's very important to simulate the real IELTS exam. So when you're practicing at home and you're recording yourself and you're writing down answers to get more accurate answers, that's good practice, but you do have to really practice the real interview. Like, even in these classes, and this is a caution for everybody who's, following the class, one part of our class that makes the speaking easier is you can see the question, right? So you're looking at the screen and you can not just hear me ask you the question, but many of you are also reading the question. In the real IELTS exam, you don't have that. You only hear the examiner, right? So you don't have that extra piece of information. So you have to practice that real situation, okay?
Yeah.
And to be natural. All right, Sisarani, have a lovely rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Sisarani. That was really good. Okay, students, let's take somebody else. We've got time. It's a long class, 90-minute class. So here we go. Let's see if Ishmael is around. All right, Ishmael. Yeah, absolutely. Are you ready? So Ishmael has an exam August 16th. Somebody else in the chat said, Dr. Tripti said, I have an exam on the 10th. Dr. Tripti, volunteer. Let me know who you are in the chat. Okay. Ishmael, if you're still here with us, let me know. I will ask a question, give you some feedback on your level and what you need to do to improve. Okay, so usually the score estimates that I give students are within half a band of what they get. A lot of our students come back and say, yeah, I got exactly what you told me. So it comes from experience. I have been training people for IELTS for more than 15 years now. Okay, Ishmael, here we go. Hello, Ishmael. It sounds like you picked up, but I cannot hear you, Ishmael. Could be our connection, could be if you're using VPN, could be that your device isn't liking our website. So send us an email. Let us know what device, what country, what connection you have, and then we can check into why it might not be working for you, Ishmael. Regardless, Ishmael, I don't hear you. Do you hear me? If you hear me, it means we have a good connection, something with your microphone. I hear you. I don't hear you, obviously, but do you hear me? If I heard you, everybody else would hear you too. Okay. All right, Ishmael, test it with another student, and even though you won't get a chance to speak with me today by the look of things, it doesn't mean you cannot use this system with somebody else. So definitely use it with other people over the next few days to practice your speaking, okay? And again, all the best on your exam on the 16th. Okay, let's try somebody else. Yeah, okay, Ishmael's calling me. Try not to call me, students. I'll give you a chance this time, Ishmael, but... Hi, Ishmael. Yeah, I still don't hear you, so let me try to establish the connection with you next time, but I still don't hear you. Okay, let's try somebody else here. So let's go with... let's see if Jaskaran is here. Jaskaran, are you ready? So Jaskaran, give me a sign. Yeah, students, let me call you. Otherwise, it's kind of distracting with the flow of things, the flow of the class. All right. Hi, Jaskaran.
Hello.
How are you, Jaskaran?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Jaskaran, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from India,
Which state?
Chhattisgarh,
Which city?
from the Raipur.
Raipur. Okay, awesome. Yeah, India is big, and we have so many students from India. So every time somebody's like, "I'm from India," I'm like, it's kind of like saying, "I'm from Europe." It's like, okay, what country? What city? Right? It's a big country with a lot of people. Jaskaran, why are you doing the IELTS exam?
Actually, I just completed my class 12th, and for further universities and to go abroad, I'm planning to do IELTS.
Good for you. Yeah, it's good to have an IELTS mark after high school. Well, congratulations on graduating high school.
Thank you.
How does that feel, finishing all 12 years of public education? Is it a good feeling?
It's mixed feeling. Like obviously you remember all those days when you used to do when you used to chill with your friends in the class and do homeworks at night, staying up late.
Oh, that's not finished yet. Wait till you get to university. You'll be staying up late. Sometimes you won't
Yeah.
even sleep. So that part is coming back. Don't worry. But yeah, the friends part, definitely. I agree. There's a special kind of connection that people make in high school, and hopefully, you know, a lot of those friends will stay with you in your life. So I think saying that it's a mixed feeling is accurate. I had mixed feelings when I graduated high school many years ago. Another way you can say that, just Grun, is it's bittersweet. Have you heard this expression? It's bittersweet. The bitter
Yeah.
is the bad, the sweet is the good. It's bittersweet because I'm happy to become independent or become more independent. And I'm looking forward to university. But I will miss my friends and teachers, maybe. Okay, so something like that. Okay, it's bittersweet. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about nature today, Jaskaran, for part 3 speaking. So I will ask you a question for part 3. Are you ready to answer a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do this. All right, so part 3, let's continue talking about the environment. How much time do you think people have before it's too late to save nature, and why?
Let me think for a second. Well, it's in my opinion, it's already late. It's already late to realize people that we have to save nature, but nowadays government is also promoting some programs to save nature and aware the people about that. However, some people started it before only.
What can governments do to save the environment? Okay, don't answer that. Just stop there. Yeah, so here the examiner would ask you the next question because the examiner I can feel that you're a little bit confused by this question and you're like, what? What should I say for this? Okay, there's a really important tip here, Jessica, and it's for everybody. On the IELTS, not about the truth. Okay, so the reality does not matter. Okay. So in the IELTS, you can make up the answer. The most important is that you keep it simple. So don't confuse yourself. Okay, don't confuse yourself. I think you started well. So you said, let me think for a second. And that's fair. It's a tricky question. It's a tricky idea. So let me think for a second. And then you thought for 3-4 seconds, which was okay. And then you said, well, in my opinion, it's already too late to realize people that we have to save nature. Let's keep this more simple. So it's, in my opinion, it's already too late to save nature. Okay. Okay. That's a very difficult answer to pursue. So I wouldn't recommend it. And then you said, but nowadays government. So then you suddenly jump to the other side. You said, but nowadays. And that starts to confuse me. Even if we're speaking Hindi or Punjabi to each other, I would start to get confused at this point. So it's too late, or it's not too late, or the government's helping. What are we talking about? So always stick to one side. So here, if I want to pursue this answer, I would say, well, in my opinion, it's already too late to save nature. The level of pollution and environmental degradation, it's a new word, it means destruction, and environmental degradation has reached a point of no return. I think that the planet will die out within the next 100 years, and life will have to start again. Humans may or may not be a part of that. Okay, so first of all, it's a very sad and dark thought, which is okay. Examiner is not going to judge you. Examiner will give you a band 9 if you give them this answer. But it's kind of dark, and you just graduated high school, so my suggestion is stay positive, Jaskaran. Humanity will survive. Nature will thrive. Okay, it's not too late.
Yes.
Stick to one side. So stay to one side, okay? And stay to the positive. Why not? Let's be blind optimists. Blind optimists means believe until the end, okay? Like in all those Hollywood movies. It's we have to believe, okay? So I would think that the positive is a little bit easier here. I would say, let me think for a second. Well, I don't think people have, and the environment have much time, maybe 50 years, before it's too late. I think that people are smart and will band together. Do you know what that means, band together?
Yes, sir. They would unite together.
Exactly. It means unite. Yeah, you're very good. Very good. So you have lots of vocabulary. So people are smart and will band together to save nature, and humanity will be better and people will be happy. For this purpose, I have started a recycling club in my neighborhood. Okay, so let's be optimistic. Let's stay positive. Positive answers on the IELTS are usually easier. So even if you don't necessarily believe in the positive answer, use the positive answer because it's easier in most cases. Okay, that's an important tip or trick for everybody. So let's repeat this question and this answer, and then once I finish, copy after me. Okay?
Sure, sir.
All right, so how much time do you think people have before it's too late to save the environment? Well, let me think for a second. Well, I don't think people and the environment have much time, maybe 50 years before it's too late. I think that people are smart and will band together to save nature, and humanity will be better and people will be happy. For this purpose, I have started a recycling club in my neighborhood. Okay, how much time do you think people have before it's too late to save nature and why?
Let me think for a second. Well, I don't think people and the environment have much time. Maybe 50 years before it's too late. I think that people are smart and will band together to save nature, and humanity will be better and people will be happy. For this purpose, I have started a recycling club in my neighborhood.
Okay, good. Yeah, my answer could be better. It's a little bit going off topic near the end, but it'll get you that band 9. So my tip here, when you have a question that's one side or the other side, or a yes or a no, or a positive or a negative, choose one side, stay to that side. Remember that truth doesn't matter on the IELTS, and positive answers are usually easier to talk about and to explain than negative ones. Negative ones are tricky. They get you into difficult situations. So careful with that, okay?
Yes, sir. Sure, I will really take a look at it.
Okay, and stay positive, Jaskaran. Let's save humanity and nature, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
You're welcome, Jaskaran. Have a lovely day. Yeah, I think, a lot of us honestly are quite pessimistic when it comes to the environment because we can just see the level of destruction around us. But let's stay positive, everybody, going into the weekend. And our class is coming to an end, so I will stop there for now. Tomorrow, students, I will host another class on Light Hall. I want to leave you with this note. That one is a paid class. It's $2. Not a lot of money. $2. Go to Light Hall. I just put the link in the chat there for you. And register for the class. It's a new reading passage. Most likely it will be quite a small class, so we will have lots of chances to interact, and I will answer questions about the reading section. So check out that Light Hall class tomorrow. Check out our speaking video that we just posted on YouTube. That speaking video is quite good. It includes quite a few different tips and strategies for communication, so check that out. You're very welcome, Eugen. Thank you to all of our volunteers today. We had quite a good number of volunteers in the chat. Students, if you didn't speak with me, talk to other students. As you can see, there are lots of people using the website with good English, and a lot of people want a speaking partner to practice these questions. On the website here in this chat, you have questions right here. You can click on those, and there are 15 full sample sets of questions for the speaking. So use those, okay? Help each other out. Band together. All right. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. If it's late in your country, then get good rest, get good sleep, come back, join me tomorrow. I will be posting our next week's schedule on Instagram and on our YouTube, so subscribe to YouTube. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, and whether you're in France or Kazakhstan, India, Vietnam, I wish you much love. Bye for now.